Go live your life, guys. Do the thing. Here.
For now.
For now. You never know.
Even when you're at these super low points, things will fix itself.
That like really messed with me. Like when she said that like stuck with me for so long. You've been doing a lot.
Yeah, a coping mechanism. What? Episode 10. 10. Donorama.
Woo! Oh my gosh, I feel so special. 10. That's double digits.
That's double digits, man. But there's this quote. It's like a 90% podcast don't make it past episode 3, and then 90% of that 90%, 90% of that 10% doesn't make it past episode 21.
20. Ooh,
so
okay.
That's the goal. And then 22nd, we just cap it.
We're done.
Done.
No more podcasts.
Okay.
After 22nd.
I just have to move the
closer.
Yeah, it also extends this way too. Like pull it.
Whoa.
Fancy.
So fancy.
Yeah. Okay.
I
Well.
only like ever use these for like my phone. You know.
What would you use it for?
Like literally to lay in bed because I'm really lazy.
Wait, no. Like
you know, like when you're like holding your phone, it's like laying in bed. It's like my arm hurts. Like.
Yeah.
So my mom bought like me and my brother these.
What, dude?
Yeah, she's enabling our laziness.
Yeah, genuinely, dude. No, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I don't even know if I should share this, but when I was in like grade 7 or something, grade 8, I would chill in like a cardboard box. And I put these thumbtacks in the roof of the cardboard box. Just think of like a normal big ass packing box. Yeah. I would just lay in there and I put the thumbtacks in so I can slide my phone underneath, and I just like lay underneath, just laying in this box in my room and just like watch YouTube.
That's innovation, actually.
Yeah, right.
I think because it's like your own projector.
Facts.
But I guess not. You know, and you get to lay there. It's like a dentist's office, you know, like when you go to the dentist.
Yeah.
And like the TVs are like on the ceiling.
Yeah. That's only the kids ones, man. Then they stop doing that once you turn into like an adult.
True. Maybe your dentist.
Yeah,
Maybe
okay.
My dentist is just like cool.
See, I'll be honest, I haven't gone to a dentist in like 2 years now.
No,
3 years.
yeah,
Dude,
it's been almost 2 years for me too.
Really?
Like, I need to see it.
Bro, I swear, like I'm petrified of dentists. Like
Really?
I hate it. Like the
always?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's like I don't know. So I'm like, I hate the drilling feeling, and like it actually like hurts. So I'm like, I don't know.
Wait, have you like gotten cavities and stuff?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Have you not?
Fun fact: I've never had a cavity.
A single one.
Yeah.
Damn.
Mhm.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
How?
I don't know. I brush my teeth. Like a lot.
Yeah. But like.
Or I guess I don't. I don't know. I guess I just avoided it.
Yeah. No sugar?
Like,
do you eat a lot of sugar?
Yeah, I do actually.
Right.
I have no idea. I've never gotten a cavity.
That's so
Or,
strange.
Like, also never been stung by a bee.
Okay.
Knock on wood.
Fun fact.
Knock on wood. Yeah.
It's not that bad actually. The idea of it is so much worse than it is. But so crazy intro.
Yeah.
So okay, so Dawn, this is a tough one to get together. You know, you live so far away, so we really had to make this work.
To schedule this in.
Yeah. But okay, so for anyone who doesn't know, this is Dawn. This is a roommate. She moved in this year, and obviously we've gotten to know each other a little bit. So for anyone who doesn't know you, and for what maybe I don't know about you, tell us about Dawn.
What's about me? Hey, I'm Dawn. I go to UVic as well. I'm in psychology for now. I keep saying that. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, so many people are like, oh, what are you in? I'm like, psychology. For now, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't know. It's like, it's okay. I just, like, don't know what I'm going to do with my degree and stuff, you know?
Of course.
Yeah. But, yeah, that's me. I don't really do, I don't know. I'm like, what am I? Oh, tell me about yourself. So, like,
Yeah.
I love interviews.
Yeah, right. No, it's conversation.
Yeah.
No, and I would hate to be asked that question. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I would have to have that shit planned beforehand.
Yeah.
So I was thinking maybe you did, but.
See, some people would. Some smart people would. But I'm not claiming that label of smart.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm just a girl, I guess, that's chilling here.
For now.
For now. You never know.
Yeah, hey, man. Well, yeah.
Found you off Facebook Marketplace, because that place is insane.
There we go.
Yeah.
The group chat. The
Facebook
group.
group.
I post the place.
Yes,
That would be
yeah.
very raunchy.
Yes. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is it? The UVic off campus housing.
Off campus housing.
Yeah. And I was, oh my gosh, that place is so. It's like, oh, do you want to live with like me and like 8 other people?
Yes.
And like spend like $1,300.
Oh my god, bro, dude, I'd be terrified actually if I was like trying to look for a place.
Yeah.
But it's so funny. I remember when I was like looking for roommates and I was like telling my friends like, yeah, I finally found one. And so like, yeah, like she moves in, it'd always be like, she.
Yeah.
Like what? That's crazy. And I'm curious like what maybe your friends thought when you said you're moving to a house of all
they
guys.
were just like, really, why?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess like I don't know.
Yeah.
No, like, and even my family, they were fully like very supportive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like my brother was like, yeah, you'll have fun. Like it'll be a lot better than living with girls. And I'm like, okay, like, sure.
That's an interesting thing to say.
I don't know, cause like I've always, I don't know, sounds like so pick-me. It's like really nasty.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
don't really want to say this, but I've like always gotten along with men, and like my brother is my best friend.
Right.
Is, like, ew, gross. He's my sibling, but yeah, he's my best friend.
Yeah.
So I don't know, and like I don't know. You never know. It might be really good.
Yeah.
It might be a good situation. It sounded chill.
Yeah.
Guess what? It was.
Ooh, wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I was like freaking out though, like first like week before moving.
Okay. Probably the first couple of days when moving too.
Yeah. But like the week leading up to it, I was like freaking out. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? What am I doing right now?
Like in terms of moving with guys?
Yeah, moving with guys,
okay.
and like, because I only ever talked to you, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know what the other dudes say.
Right.
And then, yeah, but like I wasn't supposed to come back to school anyway, so that was like another like big thing. Fun fact: I was not gonna come back to school this year because I didn't have the funnest time last year, and I don't know, it kind of felt like a waste of time because like I didn't know what I was doing, and like, I just kind of went into it because everyone else was like going to university too.
Yeah, you get that like FOMO, and it's like
yeah, very much hard FOMO because even like in Edmonton, like all of my friends were in university. I only have one friend who wasn't.
Okay. Returned.
We're back.
Side tangent. Yes, what was I was saying, when everyone found out you're moving here, and they were like, oh, what, like a girl, like why'd you choose, and I was like, man, I wish I had like some crazy reason. I had 6 calls that day. I had 4. I was at the gym, and they were all after the gym. I was late because my workout went too well, so I was just sitting in the Miata, top down, and in the parking lot. I talked to this first girl, and she's like a CS:GO gamer and everything, and she's like, I don't know if I want to add that, but like she's like playing with her hair and stuff, and I'm like, okay, that's probably not gonna turn out so well. And then the next guy, he was just like very, very out of province exchange student from India, and I just tell you, then probably just like we wouldn't have gone along. It would have just been like sharing the space with him. And then the other one was just like that. And then there was you, and then I asked like 4 questions, and you're just like chill, and I'm like, okay, boys, we found one.
Yeah, no, literally, because you first of all, you were like an hour late. So I was like, okay, whatever. So literally, I was like, I gave up, literally, and then you like called me, and like, oh, what the fuck? Because I was like with my brother. Yeah. And we were in Stanley Park, actually.
Oh, okay.
We were in Stanley Park, and I was like, oh, wait, we can't really go because I have a call. And he's like, okay, whatever. We're like waiting in the parking lot and stuff. And okay, it's been like an hour, so I was like, hey, fuck it, we're gonna go home.
Yeah, okay.
So we go home, and then I had to, because my brother like loves mountain biking. Like, I'm not the biggest fan because it scares the fuck out of me. Right. Because I've fallen so many times. Fucking mountain biking. Oh my gosh.
Dude, it hurts, man.
It does. I have like scars and like on my arms and stuff because of it. And my brother's like, oh, sorry. I'm like, hey. He was like, he like took me when I was like 15. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, so young.
Okay, but like, yeah, so young. But like before that, I like never really was active like that. Right. So I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah. But yeah, and then I was like supposed to go and like drop him off and like
to go mountain biking.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I was gonna drop him off at the top of like the mountain, and then like I'll shuttle him pretty much. And then you call, and I'm like, my brother's like literally right next to me when you were calling me. He was driving.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Driving, and I'm like, Oh shit. Okay. Hey, what's up?
Yeah, I did text you before. I was like,
Yes,
yo,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, you free now? And you're like, yeah. I'm
Yeah,
like, okay.
yeah, okay, well, I mean, might as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then, yeah. And then we talked, and I was like, yeah, dude's chill.
Yeah, yeah. I remember I asked if you were reading a book. You said
Yes,
you're.
oh my gosh, Dune, the book, the
Dune.
infamous Dune book that I have yet to start, actually. Because I
Yeah, yeah.
that day, I was literally going to start it. So I'm like, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
reading it.
Yeah, we started out this relationship off with a lie.
Lies. Yeah. And then, oh my gosh, yeah. The Dune book, I forgot about that.
Yeah, dude, bro, because I remember exactly, because you told me that
Yeah.
eventually in like September, like, yeah, I didn't actually read that book. And why was it, like grade 11 or something? I had this huge crush on this girl,
Yeah.
and I ended up seeing later. But she was, she used to read a lot. And at the time, I was just playing video games and shit. Like, I never picked up a book before. And I was like, yeah, like, yeah, give me a book recommendation. Like, I'm so down. Right? And she's like, yeah, of course. And this girl, she was like weird. She was like super like, yeah, all my stuff's like underground. Like I won't show.
I'm not like other girls.
Yeah.
Books that nobody knows.
Right? No, she was
Yeah.
so lovely. And she was like, yeah, like Life of Pi, it's a great book. And I was like, okay, yeah, yeah. So like, I picked it up, I read 3 chapters or something. I didn't have the attention to actually read a whole book at that time.
Yeah.
And I told her, I'm like, yeah, I'm reading Life of Pi. It's like great. And she's like, oh, that's wonderful. And then later on the line, she's like, yeah, by the way, I never actually read that book. I'm like, whoa. And then that flashed back into my memory when you told me that. I'm like, oh, okay.
Another bitch who doesn't actually read.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. For what it's worth, I do read. Guys, I do read.
Yeah, yeah.
But just not Dune yet.
Just not doing yet. Eventually.
Yeah,
The movie's out.
Yeah, the movie's out.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
second one's coming out.
The second one's out. Dylan actually is a big fan of that book and movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember you telling me, yeah, you were like, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I told you that on the call too. Yeah.
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 I'm like, oh, word, cool. And then at that point, I like still didn't know who Dylan and Jack were, right? So I'm just
Mhm.
like, I'm like, damn. I don't know. I was just
Yeah.
like, too random. Because like, I met you, and then I'm like, yeah, cool. I just expected like the other two to just be like you. They're not.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're all actually like so different. I think
Yeah. Like the whole house, I feel like we're all very like.
we have like 4
unique and, like,
corners.
different.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's interesting. I mean, I feel like that's the best way, right?
Yeah.
That's what you want.
Yeah, because like, I don't know, if you're like too similar, then it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's cool. Like
Yeah.
it's cool how it worked out. Yeah, I'm
it
very
is cool.
grateful.
I also am very grateful about that.
Yeah.
I was like talking to my mom actually the other day, and I was like, I'm really grateful for like everyone in my life right now,
Nah.
and like my roommates and like my friends and like all that mushy gushy
Yeah.
stuff, you know.
That's such like a happy place to be at.
Yeah.
Right? Like at least I know, like, like I try to get to that point where like I feel like that every day, and like I think at least for right now, hopefully that doesn't end.
Yeah.
It's like you wake up, I'm like, dude, I'm just like grateful to,
Yeah.
I'm just happy, right?
Do you feel? I'm actually really curious about this. Do you feel like your like religious like tie? I don't know. I feel like you and like your how does it say your spirituality? I guess, has like something to do with that, or like I feel like you're like leaning in a little more recently.
I have been leaning in a little bit more recently. I think when I first got into like the self-improvement space, being, I want to say gratuity. That's not the word. Like grateful. Like what's gratitude? Yes, I always get those two mixed up.
Gratuity.
Gratitude. It was something like I just really tried to practice. Like I was like writing down in my journal every day 4 things I'm grateful for. I still have all of those in my notes. I look back when I was like going to the gym at 5 a.m. every morning. It's like I'm so grateful for my family for putting me in a place that I can go to the gym every day. I'm so grateful for this car that I get to and stuff like that. So I think I was just really practicing it before I got, and then obviously now that I'm leaning a little bit more into religion and just kind of experimenting a little bit, it's like like all this stuff is happening for a reason, and I'm just so grateful to be able to experience what God is giving me.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. How do you? Because you.
Very tumultuous relationship with religion. If
Yeah.
That's what you want to bring up. Yes.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was like.
Yeah, I grew up Roman Catholic, like hardcore.
Like most.
Yeah, And like my family, like we go back generations. Like even though yeah we're from India, like
Mhm.
generationally we've been colonized the fuck out of. So you know we're
Okay.
like so like my mom's super Catholic. Her grandparents, her parents' parents, like
Mhm.
grandparents, parents, and whatever.
Wow.
And
So like
then
really far back.
yeah, pretty far back.
Wow.
And then my dad also his like he's some percentage white, you know,
Something.
something.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so like he's grew up Anglican or Christian. Okay, Christian.
What? Yeah,
There,
yeah.
there are some. There's a lot of denominations
Tons,
when
tons.
we talk about Christianity. So yeah, and he's super religious. My mom's super religious still, and then me and my brother were just not.
Right.
Yeah, so I grew up super Roman Catholic. I went to Catholic school all my life. I did one semester though at a public school in high school
Okay.
when I was like 16, and that was crazy. Like the difference between like public school and Catholic school, at least
Yeah.
maybe like my I don't know my experience of it was
Yeah, yeah.
so interesting. Like the only ever high school parties that I went to was in public school. The only time I
No
drank was in
way.
public school.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The only time, yeah, the first time I ever got high was in public school.
Right.
So, yeah, it was very much like a bit of a culture shock almost.
Yeah.
But, yeah, okay, that has nothing to... Anyways, back to religion. Yeah, I was, like, super, super religious. Like, I was that kid
No
to
way.
get annoyed when you were talking during prayer time in the morning.
Wow.
Like, I'm like, guys...
Like we're talking like grade school here?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
because every day in Catholic school we start off
Prayer 8:30.
Prayer
Yeah.
8:30, and then sometimes like on Fridays or whatever. I think do like the what's it called? The anthem, Canadian anthem, right?
Oh,
The national
okay.
anthem.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then like yeah, so we do prayer, and then I'd be like, so like imagine me like 10 years old, just fucking eyeing everyone down, who's like still talking to
Right.
like their friends during prayer time. 'Cause,
Okay.
like, you're a child. You don't give two shits about like
Obviously.
God.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
just like, snack time. I wonder what we're having.
Yeah,
You know?
right.
So, yeah, and like every night, me and my
Mhm.
mom, and like sometimes like my whole family, would like pray together before like
That's awesome.
we'd pray
Yeah.
before bed.
Right.
So like, and like that was just what we did, and like it was just so normal to me. But now I'm realizing when I was younger, I prayed like it Santa, like God was Santa. I'm like, so please, make me do well on my test. And like
Yes.
keep everyone safe. It wasn't like there was no thought really,
Right,
you know, when
right.
it came to that. Because even like growing up, it was never, I guess, I wasn't like taught to be introspective and like
Mhm.
think about things
Right.
when it came to religion and how I viewed like
Okay.
the afterlife and whatever. It was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like, so here's the
Like
creation
this is
story.
the way. This is how it
Yeah,
was.
this is the way. you
Here's a
can
book on
pray.
history, the
Yeah.
Bible. Yeah, yeah.
And like I went to church all the time every Sunday,
Mhm.
but I went to Sunday school, right? So it was
Okay.
oh my gosh, I get to hang out with my friends,
Yes.
and color,
Of course. Of
and
course.
run around, and then eat snacks.
Right.
That's
It's the best time you can
best
have as a
time,
kid.
Yeah, I was not paying attention to what they were saying.
No. Right.
Like the youth group leaders and whatnot, they were like, I don't even remember honestly. I feel like I remember being in the plays though. I was in
Whoa.
some Christmas pageants.
Okay.
Yeah, I was always like one of the wise men or like someone in the back.
Oh,
you know?
oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was never like. Also, I was terrified. Like I
Right.
have really bad stage fright actually.
Oh shoot. Okay.
Terrifying. I've always been like super like anxious like that when
Yeah.
I go to like big groups of people.
Okay.
So like when I had to like do those plays,
Kind of horrifying.
horrifying.
Yeah.
Horrifying. But I liked getting dressed up. That was fun.
Let's go.
You know? And then yeah. But yeah, no, so like when I was younger,
Yeah.
I had a lot of questions about God.
Of course.
You know. And my mom, word for word, was like, there's some things you just don't question.
Right.
And I'm like, really? That seems a little weird.
Yeah.
Like, even though, yeah, I was like 8 or 9, I was just like, how does it add up about
Is that true?
You know? And then, because that's what she got told, you know, when she was
course.
younger and like questioning.
Of course.
And like, yeah, also if I was like an annoyed parent, my child was like, asking me these crazy questions about death and
Oh my
like
gosh.
how
Yeah.
life is and like why
Yeah.
people act the way they do.
I'm so like intrigued by that. I don't know how I'll act when my
Yeah.
kid starts asking me about that.
Yeah, and like when you're busy, you have a mortgage that you're worrying about and
Yeah.
stuff. So I get like why her parents like they're just like just don't question it.
Right.
Just ignore it.
Yeah.
You know? The whole like blissful ignorance.
Blissful ignorance is bliss.
Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So I was just so confused because in school, you know, you're taught to like ask questions.
Of course.
And, like, be curious. Obviously to a certain extent because
Mhm.
it's like school. And,
Yeah.
like they don't actually care if you're like curious or anything. They
Yeah.
just want
Right.
you to repeat what you're there. Just repeat what's being said. And
Yeah.
thrown at you, I guess.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, like I was always everyone's curious as a kid.
Of course.
That like really messed with me. Like when she said that
Yeah.
like stuck with me for so long.
Right.
Like, what do you mean you don't question it? Because like I don't know. And then like, and then I fully like started questioning my religion when I was like
At,
12.
at 8, 9? Oh,
No,
12.
like,
Okay.
like,
Yeah.
when I
Yeah.
feel like I gained consciousness. Of it.
Right.
But it's middle school. I feel like middle school does something.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's fair.
Yeah, and at least my middle school was crazy. Like,
Really?
Yeah, people were doing drugs and having sex and all that, which like at 12
Whoa.
to 14, where is your mother? It's all like,
Yeah, where's
you
your
know,
father, man?
yeah, where are your parental units?
Yeah, right. How are you doing this?
Are they?
Like,
Yeah.
what? You have sports at 7 o'clock. You get off school at 4. Your parents are leaving you home alone. Like, what is?
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
yeah.
fair.
And then, yeah, and then I just like, oh my gosh, yeah, and then I had to tell my mom when I was 12, 13,
Mm-hmm.
because I like didn't want to pray at night anymore. I'm like,
Oh,
I
okay.
wanna go on my phone and then go to sleep immediately.
Right.
Like, I don't want to pray.
Oh, the
You
blue, the
know?
blue light before
Like,
bed.
before bed. You
Mom,
know?
I need it.
Oh, please. Yeah, and then she was like, "What do you mean?" You know?
Yeah.
Because like she's never, cause like she grew up in India. She didn't have this. She was never exposed to the same things that I'm exposed
course.
to. You know.
Of course.
So like, she's like, "What do you mean that you're just not like you
Yeah.
just don't believe in God
Yeah.
anymore?" And like, I'm like, I don't know. I just don't.
Just don't.
I guess. Or, yeah, because growing up in North America, it's a lot different than how our parents
Right.
were raised.
Right.
Right.
Even just growing up now compared to
Growing
how our
now,
parents were
yeah.
raised is so different.
Yeah, regardless of where we are in the world,
Yeah.
too, it would be completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was like a big disconnect, I think.
Right.
Between, like, and then like that was a bit of a strain on our relationship with my mom for like a little bit, but then you know she's just like let me be, you know.
Yeah.
And then now we're fine, we're chilling. Family mom, we're good. But yeah, I don't know. I like even, you know how like they're like, oh yeah, God's speaking to me.
Right.
Like I've always like heard that growing up,
Mhm.
and like obviously you'll probably hear it too. Like the law, I guess I don't know if you might feel it too, that
Mhm.
like that God speaks to you during like
Yeah,
your life, or like
right.
things will happen or whatever. And like
course.
I like never felt that.
Right.
I've like never felt that like. Nonetheless, if it's God or something else, but
Mhm.
like when I was younger, I like never really felt that like
That. Yeah.
like there is something out there. You know?
Right. That makes sense. It's that's interesting. There's like so many points where you're talking that I want to like go into, but I'm gonna try and just like hit a few of them. But I remember my podcast with Mason. Honestly, any conversation I have with Mason, and my friend Micah, who I met online, who actually, he's the one who really brought me into religion and everything. Like they always say the best thing you can do for religion is just to be curious, right? Like ask questions, say like, why is this the case? Go explore other religions, right? And like actually like form a belief for yourself that's not taught by school or Sunday school. And I think that's like the best thing that you can do is like really question what you're doing. And when you were talking about how like you're in middle school and you started to like question it, I had the exact same story. I remember it was like grade 6 or grade 7 and we're going in like Bible class, and we the teacher said something, and this is the point I was like already questioning my religion, right? The teacher said something about how everything God said is fact and something, and I remember I raised my hand and I asked him, I was like, you if everything God says is true, don't you think that everyone who follows a different religion also feels the same thing? Like when like Muslims think that what they're saying is true and everything else, and everyone looked at me like I just like said something crazy, and then that really like led to me like pushing away that, and obviously through experimentation and everything I kind of came back for it, and then for now, but we'll see, right? We're still young.
We're still young.
Yeah, right.
All the time in the world.
I saw this like video online. It's like, like, oh, what was your 20s? And it's like, you do all this like random stuff, and one point they made it was like you find God and lose God, and you find him a bunch of your times. So maybe that'll happen.
Yeah.
And then the last point I want to get into when you said about speaking to God is, have you ever found yourself like have you heard the term synchronicities before? No.
Maybe, but I don't know what it is.
Okay, yeah, it's like a very spiritual term. It's like used a lot, especially in like the yogi world and everything. But it's like, say, you're thinking about, for example, you've been thinking about a job a lot, right? You're in a job right now, and you feel like you might lose your job, and you're very stressed, and all of a sudden you're walking down and you see some random like tiny thing that reminds you like, everything's gonna be okay, or it's like you're reading a book and all of a sudden you see this one word all the time. It could be like something like you'll be okay, and then you go outside and all of a sudden you see this flyer flying down the wind that says you'll be okay. And there's all these little synchronicities in life, and it's not even like based to religion. There's so many, just in the spiritual world. It's just something people talk about, and that's why I always define as that's God speaking to me.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I feel like now I'm definitely not in the place where like I want to do like organized religions type thing.
Right.
Because I actually tried like over the summer. I like went to church. And,
no way.
I don't know, kind of just like infuriated me, but that's just like my own issues with
right.
Yeah, I don't know, it was just very interesting. I mean, I did go to like, it was like a Trump church in LA, so I don't know what the fuck I was expecting.
Interesting.
For me not to like
get,
I don't know.
I wonder what that was like.
It was very interesting. It was very patriotic.
Very patriotic.
Very patriotic.
America.
Yeah, this lady behind me, American flag shirt, Trump pin.
Whoa.
I'm like, whoa, so you guys are real. That's crazy. It's like you see them online, it's like, oh, haha, that's so
It's
funny.
just online.
It's just online.
Yeah.
No, they're real. Like,
wow.
I mean, like, okay, believe what you want politically. This is not, but.
It's not Trump slander.
yeah. Please don't cancel me, Mr. Trump. I know you're gonna listen to this. But,
yeah, Trump listening to the official Gemini podcast. Yeah, big time.
Yeah, no, it was just interesting. It was just like everything I hated,
Right.
Maybe I was just looking for reasons.
You were looking at it through a different lens. Maybe it just literally wasn't the place for you, right?
Just like, I'm definitely not closed off to the idea of like religion, but I don't know because like I still like the whole like synchronicities. Is that okay?
Yeah.
I do like feel that all the time now.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
A little fucking kid waved at me yesterday, and I'm like, I love my life.
Right.
I love my life.
Yeah.
Or like today I saw like a hummingbird. I'm like, fuck. Well.
Right.
This is nice. Life is worth living.
Yeah.
This makes me feel really grateful.
Right.
So I do like definitely feel like things like that now. But I see it as like the universe. I tend to like personify the universe as like my version of God, I guess, right now. But I like still haven't really reflected.
No, that's fair.
Too much about that. But I don't know, it's been nice.
Yeah.
It's been nice to like not be so closed off to the idea of something out there.
Right. No, that's awesome. I feel like that's all you can. I think when you're forced an idea, you'll just reject it even more.
Yeah, right. Nobody likes doing what they're told.
No,
to be
exactly.
Told what to do.
Exactly.
Like,
it's like the kids with the priest parents are usually the most crazy kids, right? So.
Yeah, the strictest parents. Then you learn how to lie better. You
Yeah.
learn how to,
Yeah, you just learn how to act better, right?
You learn how to act better, and then once you get away, then it's like, oh my gosh, Hashtag all the freedom.
And crazy start happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when life starts.
When life starts.
But yeah, no, that's like that's the way I still describe God and everything is just you know, God is the universe, Mother Nature, lizard men on the moon, like literally, like it just encompasses everything. And you know, I'm going to share this just because this is what Micah shared to me. And but I'm gonna share that story just because, you know, it was really cool, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
It was so I remember around second sem last year, I was having such a hard time just with things going on, right? I was the job I was working wasn't really the best place for me. I was just like having a hard time with my relationships and stuff like that. And I was feeling like, and this is something I had to work on, but whenever I have this feeling, I just want to leave. I just want to get the fuck out.
Yeah.
And like my thought is like, you know, like, oh, I can just drive to California tomorrow. You know, I can just leave and this will all be over.
Just run away from all your problems. It'll fix it.
Yeah,
It'll
right.
fix it.
Fun fact, it doesn't. It never does. But so I decided that I'm gonna go away for the summer. I'm gonna book a trip and just leave. Right. So I was looking in and I was just thinking about it at the time, and I was trying to be more active on Twitter. So I joined. Twitter has this thing where they have spaces, basically, where it's like you can just hop on with a bunch of people and you can just talk and just share, and people can hop in and listen to you. And I remember Micah was on it, and these are guys I've just been following for a while. And I love these spaces because every time I hopped in, they were talking about things that I've been wanting to talk about but didn't get the opportunity to, like things like masculine and feminine dynamics, understanding religion, looking at religion through a philosophical lens. You know, people say God, but what does God really mean? All these like 21-year-olds were talking about this, and that was like so cool to me. So I hopped into one, and you know, I got the nerve to, on Space you can request to speak. So I requested to speak on this one because they were talking about all this stuff I loved, and they accepted, and we were all taking turns, and it was finally my turn. I was so nervous. I was sitting at that table over there. They were like shaking, like, you know, like that's feeling in your stomach when you're about to speak. And it was my turn, and I told them about this book I was reading, Reality Transurfing, and about how things like there's this, maybe we'll get into it later, but there's some parts that tie spirituality to God and how it could be the same thing and everything. And just right when I was about to go on this like heating tangent, I was so excited. Boom, call cuts and drops, and the guy's phone died apparently. But Micah reaches out to me on the DM. We never spoken before. He was like, "Hey, bro, you know, this is so random, but I really loved everything that you were speaking about. Like, that was really cool. If you want, like, won't you and I just hop on a call sometime and let's just talk?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, that'd be great." You know, at the point, I need someone to like talk to. So we scheduled that, and this guy was talking to me, and eventually, like, you know, I just like laid back and just let him talk because he was like quoting the Bible and stuff, and everything just sounded so good. And he was like, "Yeah, you know, at some point people just feel super lost, especially when they're exploring faith, especially when they're just in life, they feel really lost. And sometimes, you know, you just have to go on this like hermetic journey and take a trip and disappear." And this is when I was thinking about that trip. And I was like, there's no way this guy is saying this to me right now. And everything he was saying just hit these points, these dots in my mind. They were already there. But he was just like connecting the lines. It's like the biggest synchronicity in the time. And this whole time he was like explaining religion to me in this way that made so much sense. I was like, yeah, but you know, I like have you heard of Alan Watts before?
Yes. My brother literally was like, "That's so funny that you brought him up actually."
Yeah.
He was, literally like 2 weeks ago. I was like, "So have you like listened to Alan Watts like I've been telling you for the past like 2 months?"
Okay.
No. So yes, I do know who Alan Watts is actually, but
yeah.
Let's continue.
Yeah, but no, I was basically saying like, yeah, you know, I have a tough time believing in God because, you know, I love like Alan Watts's philosophy. Like that makes a lot of sense to me. I also love this idea of like the universe, and like I see all these synchronicities around me, and it's like, how do you know that that's God? And then he told me, you know, I'm gonna paraphrase it, but he was like, how do you know that's not God? You know? And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, well, it sounds like you're kind of putting God into a box. And I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, you know, like, have you heard the words like omnipotence and everything? I'm like, yeah, you know, like that's God. You know, when you're describing him in chapel, he's like, he's just omnipotent, strong, man. He's just lifting up boulders and building mountains and drawing skies. And he was like, yeah, but all of those words are just boxes. And he's like, you're confining what is unlimited to being something limited. You're defining like everything and anything to fit into the words of like white, bearded, strong, tall man. And I'm like, whoa, what? And he's like, yeah, like, you know, like everything can be God. And then he was like, yeah, and you said you loved Alan Watts' philosophy, and that's Alan Watts' philosophy as well. He's saying that, you know, have you looked into his stuff at all?
Nope.
Okay, well, basically his belief that was like, if, God, I feel like I'm going on a super long tangent here, but you know, when Alan Watts is explaining philosophy, he says that, and one of his favorite quotes is, imagine if you could dream any dream. You could just sleep and dream any dream you want. Your first few dreams would probably be a little hedonistic. You probably, you know, sleep with that person you wanted to. You live like the most extraordinary life that you want to live. And then you'd wake up and then you'd be so excited to go to bed. Imagine these dreams are their whole lifetime as well. So you can go in, you just keep having these extraordinary lives. And it's said on, you know, your 1,000th, 100,000th, millionth night, it's like, whoa, I know what's going to happen now. This isn't fun. So now you start dreaming things of like bad things. Now you start letting a bunch of crazy stuff happen. Now you start letting go of the reins and taking control. That's Alan Watts' philosophy, is that we're basically all God, just experiencing everything. You know, we're like, there's water dropping to the ocean, but in each of those drops is an ocean itself. You probably might have heard that one.
Yeah.
So that's his thing. It's just like we're all God. We're nothing but, you know, like an ear to an eye are connected to each other. We're all connected to each other in the same way. And he was like, yeah, dude, you love that. That's not different than what God is. It's limitless. It's everything. And if you apply that mindset and you apply Alan Watts' mindset, that's the same thing. And you look at all these other religions and everyone's talking about the same thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Like all religions are the exact same.
Yeah, right? And it's like, it's so human to say like, no, my religion is better.
Oh, I'm better than you.
Yeah.
Yeah. We love categorizing. We love hating on people.
That we do.
Yeah, being better.
Yeah. Fulfills that little part of ours that makes us, you know, a little happy seeing someone like a little smaller. But yeah, so that's how he really helped me see things clearly, and that was like a result of experimentation, right? That I needed to push God away, and then, you know, all these synchronicities started to happen and things just worked out. So it's like, I don't know if I had a reason to say that, but it's just
No.
yeah.
I've been curious about it because I don't know. That's interesting. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Christians are also some of the nicest people I've met. Like just at that new church, bro, they're so like just welcoming. I'm like, whoa.
That's so sweet.
Yeah. Right.
That's true. Yeah, going to church most of the time, it's very like welcoming. And
Yeah.
stuff. I've definitely had like my fair share of like
emphasis on most of the time.
Yeah, most of the time, not always.
Not always.
Not always. I've definitely gone to church and like felt like an outsider when like the whole idea of church is not to feel a sense of community.
Yes.
I love
the
idea of church simply for the sense of community that it brings, because I think, I don't know, life in general right now is very, very isolating.
Yeah.
And like, I think that's why the idea of church sometimes appeals to me. It's like
it's a third space.
It's a third space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have home, you have work, and you have church. Yeah.
Because nobody, I don't know, it's so hard to like do things like even like like sports, like to join a league.
Yeah.
You know, because that's a community, or like take a class, a drawing class. That's also like a community and stuff. But it's a lot harder to do, I guess, than like just
going up to church on Sunday. Yeah. I'm
No, you're not. Nobody can help someone who doesn't want to be helped.
Yeah.
Type thing, you know.
Right.
And like, you get comfortable. Like, yes, like
very,
you feel like shit.
Very comfortable.
You get comfortable in that sadness, in that despair.
Yeah.
You know, and then nobody wants to leave their comfort zone because that's hard and scary.
Yeah.
'Cause what if it goes wrong? But everything is so much better once you leave.
Dude,
that,
it's like life starts when you take that step out of it.
Leave your comfort zone. Does get better and like is so much better because fear holds you back from.
Oh my God, it's so bad. Yeah.
And so for a long time I kind of just let that control me, and then I was
Right.
like, and then like something just clicked. I don't know what. I like literally don't know what.
Yeah.
I can't think of it, but just something clicked
Mhm.
in like 2021, 2022, 2022.
Okay.
And then I don't know. I just like start putting in effort.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
And I think effort truly is the way to happiness. Which
Yeah.
is like cringe a little bit because
I
like I don't know.
completely
I feel
believe
like
that.
everyone says that things should be easy, right?
Mhm.
Your relationships should come easy. You
Yeah.
shouldn't have any I don't know, even like the media, like, you know, like, oh my
Mhm.
gosh, like I've never fought with my friends, I've never fought with my boyfriend,
Yes.
I've never
Right.
oh, and things just came to me, you know, or it's like,
Right.
oh, I had this like opportunity just come to me, and like
Movies, TV shows.
TV shows, you
Yeah.
know, like yeah, everything good is gonna happen to the main character. That's the
Mhm.
whole point of the story, right?
Yeah. Right.
But it is a story.
Yes.
It is fiction that life doesn't happen that way.
Mhm.
You have to make it happen. You
Yeah.
know? And that's just hard.
Bro, it's the worst, man.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah, but I don't know. I like started working out and like
Let's go.
which like I've been working out on and off since I was like 15.
Yeah.
You know, went through the whole like, let me eat like an almond and go to the gym for 2 hours every day.
Of course.
You know, and then so like I fell through that, and then I just stopped. I just like gave up after maybe like halfway through quarantine.
Mhm.
I'm like, fuck this, bro. I'm tired.
Right.
And I wasn't doing it for my health. I was doing
Yeah.
it to be, you know, to be what do you call it?
To look good. To
Yeah, for aesthetics.
Yeah.
You know, for,
Yeah. Which I mean, you can argue most of us still are.
Yeah,
Right.
most of us still are. But like when that's like sole reason,
Right.
when you just like hate yourself and you're working out because you hate yourself, like
Yes. Yes.
then I'm not gonna work out, you know, 'cause
Yeah.
it's not fun, it's not enjoyable.
Of course.
And then you get so fixed on like oh, once I get to here, once I look like this,
Mhm.
I'm gonna be happy.
Yeah.
Life will be great.
Life would be great.
Guess what? You're gonna get there and you're still gonna feel like shit.
Dude, it's
You're gonna feel like shit, but with abs. Hate to, you know.
That's what I'm saying. It's floating goalposts, man.
Yeah.
Right, you get to them, and then all of a sudden, it's like that magnetic repulsion. It just pushes a little further. Like you realize, like, yo, wait, I'm not happy. But maybe if I get there, I'll be happier.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll get there if I'm happier. And all of a sudden, you're at the very end. You're like 85. It's like, whoa, wait, I'm not actually happy.
Yeah. And then like your whole life, you're just looking forward to something.
Yeah. Right.
Which, like, sucks. You know, I
It sucks.
don't want to be doing that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like I found joy in effort, which like I still don't. Not every day is the same. I
No,
still
of course.
want to rot in bed multiple days a week.
Of course.
But I don't know. Effort helps. You know, helps
Effort.
along again.
Yeah.
You know.
Like I like the idea that we aren't entitled to anything at all, right? Like we are like, as much as you want to say like we're all like we're humans, we're worth everything, like we're entitled to shit.
Yeah.
Jack's what? Like we could be, like you can make a few decisions in your life and you can be rotting on the side of a sidewalk, and life is just done, like that, right? And you can't say that people need to give you stuff, that you're entitled to, like anything that you want, you literally have to go out and do it, right? It's like no one deserves to. Your parents, they're probably the people who have the biggest responsibility to give you things, and that only happens until you're 18 or a few years after. And even then, all they're entitled to give you, even it says this in the Bible, it's the basic necessities, right? They aren't entitled to give you anything else. They can, out of love and out of everything, but anything that you really want, you have to do it, and you have to put in effort, just like you said.
Yeah, that's true. Like nobody's like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people our age are pretty entitled.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Even I've been at times.
yeah.
Right?
Well,
yeah.
that's true. Yeah, I'm entitled to. Happens.
Right.
But it is. Yeah. I don't know. My brain
No,
didn't
that's
work right there.
that's okay.
Should short-circuited a little bit. I was gonna say something about that. It'll come back to me.
It comes back. Yeah, we lose trains of thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny, while you were going there, I always like try and save points when I'm like doing these to like go back to talk about. And while you're talking there, I'm like, you know what? what if I like try and relax a little bit and be more like present in the
Yeah.
conversation? And then right when there, you like
Right.
short circuited, and I just pushed away all my backup thoughts. So it was just like boom, there was just silence. But what I was gonna say is, and we can go back. You're talking about effort a lot, and yeah, I've been thinking about this a lot recently because I think this year has been a roller coaster, man. But probably for like everyone, probably for
Yeah,
you as
for
well.
real.
Yeah, but for me, it's just been a ride. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
I can say like I've been to two different continents. I've been to tens of countries over the summer. I've started a business. I've stopped a business. I worked as a 9 to 5 computer scientist. I stopped. I dropped out of school. I went back to school. It's been crazy, and I want to like define it as it's been like really hard. It's been like really tough, but it hasn't been. Like even when I was really down for a while at the beginning of the semester, I was like I was down. I would say like I was pretty sad and everything, and I could say that like life sucked at the time, but every day I just kept putting in a lot of effort, really pushing my comfort zone, trying new sports, going to these classes that you're talking about, volunteering at these random spots, and meeting.
You've been doing a lot.
Yeah, a coping mechanism. What? But it's really at the end of it, meeting new people and everything. It's just I'm sitting at this place now where I'm like, I'm just so happy that all this happened.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm so happy that me from 2 hours ago decided to put that in that work, because like effort really just makes everything. And it's just kind of that reminder that if you keep putting these efforts even when you're at these super low points, things will fix itself. It's hard to put in that effort.
Yeah, no, that's so true. Like going back to like a lot of shit happened this
Yeah.
year. I like feel the same way, and like I truly do believe that like things do happen for a reason.
Yeah.
As much as like, oh, things were random.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I believe necessarily like fate where like things are like planned out.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know. Or maybe I do. Maybe I do. I don't know.
Yeah.
But because you were saying that it was really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly it wasn't that hard because now you're here.
Yeah.
You know?
Right?
And like, and you're doing so much better.
Yeah.
You know? Because it's also like that thing where it's like, you don't know how good it is without bad. Things,
Yeah.
You know, like
yin
the
and
yin
yang.
the yin and yang
Yeah.
type thing, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm glad that you've
Yeah.
been doing your shit. You've actually been like, cause like sometimes you like do so much shit and I'm like, damn. I'll do some stuff too.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes me happy, man. Yeah.
Like sometimes I'll like go on a run and I'm like, fuck this. I am not a runner.
Right.
I'm not a runner usually.
Yeah.
Like, and then you're like, yeah, let's go running. And we need to run because we haven't been, but
Yeah.
yeah, because I'm like, damn, Jordan does so much in his life. I'm gonna do some things. I'm gonna
That makes
get out, you know.
That makes me happy. I really appreciate that. Inspirational. Yeah. I appreciate it. I think that's the best thing. It's like when you start doing, and you start trying off, it's energy and it sheds off to other people, right? And I also think it's important, like what is motivating you to do it, right? Because like you said before, you can be going to the gym, all the time with this mindset of like, I've been through that too, where it's like you hate your body, you hate how I look. I'm gonna go into the gym and fucking torture myself for an hour and a half because I want to look like this, everything. And then you can get home and you can be productive. It's like, yeah, I have to study because if I study, I'm gonna fail. And you can go and eat good food because if I don't eat good food, I'm gonna be fat. And you can have this like negative cloud around your head. And when you're doing that, people are gonna see you doing that. And it's like, I don't want any of what that guy's doing. That guy's going to the gym. Fuck, I don't want to go to the gym if that's what it's like.
Literally.
Right?
Yeah, no, because like you'll see people just miserable and doing shit. And
Terrible.
It's like they're doing it. You
Yeah.
know? But for the wrong reasons. I
For the
guess,
wrong
right?
reasons.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, what are the right reasons? Who fucking knows?
Good question. Good question.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, no idea.
No idea.
But, when you do find a good reason, I think it shows and it rubs off.
Yeah,
And
yeah, that's true. Like leading through example, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, like, again, nobody likes being told what to do. If someone says go to the gym,
Right.
like, fuck you, no, you go to the gym.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
why
right.
are you talking to me?
Right, right,
You know?
yeah.
Which, like, it's so funny, yeah. Even, like, my mom sometimes, she's like, are you going to the gym today? I'm like, I was. I don't know if I'm gonna now.
Yeah, what was we I talked about this with a friend, but it's like when you're going into like drink water, you could be filling up your cup and it's like, hey, you should probably drink water. It's like, yeah, fuck.
Fuck you.
No, get that soda. Right? Yeah, there's a term for that. I forget what it's called.
Oh my
But
gosh.
it's a psychology term.
Whoa.
Something biased, probably. Who
Oh
knows?
my gosh, yeah. Oh, it's literally my major. Jesus. But yeah, it's something.
It's something.
It's something.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you. So you talked about fate earlier.
Yes.
What do you think of that?
That, like, things happen for a reason.
Yeah. Or what are your thoughts
Yeah.
on fate?
Fate. I think, yeah, I do believe in fate. And,
Yeah.
like, things happening for a reason. I don't know, because I'm a little human on a rock. I don't need to know everything. I'm not entitled to know everything,
Right.
you know? So, like, I don't know. So, like, I feel like whatever I say is just like, yeah, sure. Like, so the whole, like, oh, there's a plan laid out for me.
Yeah.
For me specifically, oh no, there is 8 billion other people
Right.
on this planet,
Yeah.
you know? But, I don't know.
Like, what do you think of the idea that,
It's like, bad things happen, good things happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I do think that at the end of the day, things do end up being more positive
Mm-hmm.
than not. But then again, I guess that's just a perspective.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. So, like, what do you think? So, I'm guessing you don't believe in the idea that your whole life is planned out ahead of you. Like, you can zoom out, look at it from the
where it's
universe's lens, and like this, and this will
like,
happen.
like, if you take the left road, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly.
Or like, you're only ever gonna choose the left road
Yes.
specifically type.
Right.
Thing. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't
Yeah.
think that it's. I think things happen for a reason, not necessarily the whole like life. I don't know. Maybe it's like just right now. I believe that like things led up to this
Yes.
point in my life, or
Right.
whoever's point in their life. I don't know if there's like necessarily like a plan going forward. It's just
Mhm.
like things in the past have happened, or like I don't know if this
Right.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I know what you're saying.
yeah, things have happened to lead up to this.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Have you ever
not things happen because of you
Oh, okay.
necessarily,
Yeah.
but things happen, and you just happen to be there.
Right.
I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
I'm,
no,
like,
that's-
kinda tired,
That's
but
fair. It's like the Tao in like Buddhism philosophy. It's like the Tao is the way, and you're basically like, I'm just picturing right now this like missile firing through the sky, and you're just riding it. Right.
Yeah. Where it's, yeah, right. But then it comes back to like effort, right? So it's
Yeah.
like, if you don't do anything,
Right.
would you still be here? Would the same outcome happen?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Or would you still meet the same people? Would you still?
Right.
You know? So then it's like, is it you or is it someone else?
Right.
So
Right.
when it comes to fate,
And that's so interesting,
so
right?
interesting.
That
There's
part.
so many things.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel about fate? What's your
What's
take
my
on it?
my thoughts on it?
Yeah.
To be honest, like my whole opinion is literally based off of one book I
Yeah,
read.
That's okay.
Yeah,
That's okay.
it was yeah. Trying to figure out how much of this I want to share. I talked about this on like an Instagram post way back when, and I tried to make a podcast on it when I was driving my car to
Yes,
pick
yeah,
milk and
yeah.
eggs, and I couldn't post it because it was like, there's some things there. I was just a little too vulnerable when you're
Yeah.
sitting alone in the car, just like letting your rampant thoughts
Yeah,
go.
I love a little car contemplation.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite places.
It literally is. Like a car's your
Yeah.
second home, genuinely.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so just had a really dark, depressive, very suicidal time in my life, and I I was really almost past that edge, right? And I don't want to talk about it too much because it's like, oh, like whatever, and it's like,
That's
you know
yeah,
what?
I didn't want to
yeah,
talk about
right.
it. I was
And
like,
if I felt like I pushed you,
no,
yeah,
it's
okay,
no, it's
cool.
fine. Like,
But
we can talk about this later. But
yeah. But obviously I didn't go over that edge. It was, you know, whatever. So I found this book, and this book was probably a reason that it played a very large part in who I am today. And it's called the Midnight Library, and it's about this girl who kills herself, right? And she takes the pills, passes out, and she finds herself in this library. And it's like one of the only fiction books I've ever read, and I recommend it to everyone. And every book she picks up, there's like this librarian guiding her. Every book is like a story of what her life could have been, and every single book is a different story. And she gets this opportunity to go grab this book, and she opens it up, and it's like her if she decided to keep pursuing swimming when she was 8 years old, and it's her in the Olympics, and all of a sudden she can do like 50 push-ups, without a sweat. She's in the best shape of her life, and she's like, whoa, this is amazing. And she closes the book, picks up this other book, and it's her in a research trip in Antarctica. And it's like she could literally be doing, she's in Antarctica, she's like meeting these guys that are amazing, side tangent, and she's like just exploring Antarctica and taking research notes. And that's what's happened if she went in for the PhD of her degree that she decided to drop. And then she closes it, and then this other book, she decided to be a musician, when she decided to keep dating that guy that she broke up with. All these other little tangents, and then to sum up the book, sorry, spoiler, she decides that she's like, well, this is so cool, I want to go back to my life, because every little decision I make can result in something, and I want to be the one making the decisions. I don't want to just live the life that those decisions led up to. And that built up my idea of fate. I see as this like huge, do you know what a tree diagram is, where it's like it's like if you keep making all these little tiny decisions, you're going to end up somewhere. And maybe that fate is completely written out, but that is written out along with like 10 trillion other different possibilities. So it's just which cosmic sort of path you want to fall down. Right? So that's my take on it.
It's like a multiverse.
It's like, yeah,
right.
Doppelgangers and stuff like that.
Yeah. No, that's a really interesting book, actually, the premise.
Yeah.
Sounds super like sad and depressing, but like in a good way.
In a good way. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like thinking is good. Yeah, it kind of sucks, but because like now we literally do anything and everything to not think. You know? I'm on my phone.
Yeah.
What else am I doing? Also watching Netflix. Like
you got like 4 screens going on at once.
And I'm like, why? And then I'll put my phone away.
Yeah.
I'll like turn my laptop off, and I'm like, shit.
Yeah, genuinely, it's fucking scary,
like,
bro. Yeah.
Yeah, because then it's like so much is coming at you, and then you're like, and then nothing. You're like, oh, to be alone with my thoughts, to be thinking about
God, what is
life
happening?
and stuff. Yeah. And then, yeah, I don't know why I brought this up.
No, that's fair.
I brought this up. I was gonna say something about fate and
stimulus. Overstimulating. Lots of screens. We were so distracted nowadays.
Yes,
we don't let ourselves think.
We don't let ourselves think about the possibilities that might arise.
There you go. Okay.
There we go. That
okay.
we don't get.
I thought I could spark it somehow.
Yes, you did it.
Let's go.
That like we don't think about the possibilities that are going to arise from like, oh, if we did continue like swimming, if we did like right. So then you're thinking about the past, but then it's like, oh, what if I do things forward, or like not give up, and
what if I turn off my computer and I actually do something? Yeah.
Touch some grass. That might be nice.
Yeah, like I'm really down. What if I just went out for a walk? Crazy concept.
But the initial like step.
Oh, it's the hardest. It's the hardest.
So fucked.
Yeah.
And then it's like, and then you'll take that step and be like, yeah, this feels great. And then you'll do that for like another aspect of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least that's like for me. It's like, oh, like go to the gym. Okay.
Yeah.
But then it's like, oh, go talk to someone. It's like, oh. Ooh.
Right.
Maybe not. But that's just, I don't know. Then again, what could happen?
Yeah.
If you do talk to that person, or you do apply for that job.
Yeah. Right.
You don't quit your job.
You don't quit your job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Actually, I
Yeah,
shouldn't say
don't.
that. My manager's probably I told the coworkers, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be on a podcast. I'm like, okay, we're gonna listen to it.
Yeah, no,
I'm
that's
not
why.
gonna quit my job.
No, yeah, you always talk about how much you love your job.
I
It's like
do.
you show up, you bring home pizza for the
Pizza,
boys,
ice
and she's like, "Man, I'm
cream.
so happy to listen to be there at
Yeah,
Fernwood."
yeah.
Just,
No, I feel like, yeah, I do like my job. It is quite great.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just backing you up.
Thank you.
But yeah, that's, man, I know. I think that's hard too, because like sometimes it's like you really don't know if it's gonna work out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's like,
you really just
maybe
don't.
you feel like you feel like quitting your job.
Mhm.
It's like what happened?
Yeah.
And it's like there's literally no advice I think out there that can help you
Yeah.
with that type of stuff.
Because I feel that hard with school.
Yeah,
You know, like all the time I'm like, I'm gonna drop out.
Right.
I'm gonna drop out. And then for serious, I took it, oh, I am gonna drop out last semester.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here, I'm back again.
Right.
But then the first couple months of first semester, I'm like, why did I come back?
Yeah.
You know? But I'm really, really glad I did come back, actually.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, because
None of this would happen.
you know, none of this would have happened, you
Yeah.
know? And as much as, like, I hated it, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate it now.
Right.
You know?
There you go. Might hit it later.
I hate it later. That's future me's issue.
Facts.
Me right now, chilling.
Yeah, dude. I think I wrote like a broadcast post on that. When I think it's like, do never trust future you. Overconfidence bias. I've studied for like the first time deeply, and I was like, whoa, this like actually makes sense. And I wrote like a broadcast post. I'm like, dude, like your future self is so unrelatable. Like we're just so we have this overconfidence bias that, future me will study harder tomorrow than I'm studying right now.
Yeah.
No, they won't.
No.
Not to take away from.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, maybe future you won't hate school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't hate school now, for what it's worth.
Yeah.
I think it was just, I don't know. I wasn't in the right head. I don't know. Why did I hate school?
Yeah, can I ask about that? Can I probably what made you not want to go to school in the first place, and then what also made you want to come back?
So I did take 2 gap years. LOL. Those were so boring. I'll be honest. Not boring, but like I didn't really do anything with my 2
Right.
gap years. All I did was work like minimum wage jobs, which like takes it out of you.
Dude, they're hard, man. They're exhausting.
Yeah, especially when you're working. Like I was working 2 jobs at one point, like 2
Ouch.
minimum wage jobs sometimes. So then like
Double minimum.
I'd start at like 5,
Mhm.
and then I'd end at like maybe like 10.
Wow.
You know, like 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. Like that shit's
Mhm.
long.
Long as fuck.
Yeah, so that wasn't fun, and then I was like, okay, I need to go back to school, because in
Mhm.
high school, I loved school.
Okay.
I loved school. I loved my classes, and then I was a very much a social butterfly. I talked to everybody.
Right.
Yappa. But I was like that kid who was like on good terms with everybody, not
Okay.
necessarily like super close to everybody. You know?
Right.
So, like, it was so easy for me to just, like, I don't know, like, in any class, it was like, oh, I'm talking to someone type thing.
Okay.
And then school was easy for me in high school. Like,
Okay.
but it's high school, like, I don't know.
Still, man.
And then, didn't go to school, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to school. So then 2021, because I was supposed to go to England,
Mhm.
because I applied to a bunch of universities in England. Don't remember a single one that I got into, because I just like mass applied, and then just like, because I like used like a third party, I guess it's called. Yeah, like a third party, like they help you apply to schools and stuff.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Instead of like you going and doing it yourself.
Yeah.
So I used like a service like that. So I don't remember what schools I applied.
Oh, okay.
But I got into them, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go to England.
Right.
Woo.
This was in first year.
This
I'm
was-
guessing, like
no,
when
this
you
was
first
I was
graduated
17.
high school.
Yeah, so this was when I was
Yeah.
like 17. And then I was like, oh, jokes. You're not going anywhere. You're staying.
Wait, why? Why was that?
Because getting a visa was gonna be pain.
Oh, of course.
So
Yeah.
and then traveling was gonna be a logistical nightmare.
Very.
And then my dad was like, sure, but like what?
Right.
So like I was getting like no help. Like I wasn't
Oh, okay.
getting not like financially, but like I don't know. I like did it on my own, and then it was way too overwhelming to do it on my own.
Of course.
And I was like, okay, no, I'll take a gap year.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I'll like work and do whatever. Gap year number 1. Lame. I don't know, just worked a lot. And then, And then like, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to UBC. That was like
okay.
I'm gonna go to UBC. I misread the application date for UBC.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, whatever. Maybe I'll go to a local university here in Edmonton.
U of A?
Not U of A.
McEwen?
I didn't get into U of A. Actually, I would have gone into the U of A if I didn't apply for the biology. For biology.
Oh, okay.
So I applied for biology and like I didn't get in. It's fine.
Missing out.
Yeah, it's really. No, I applied to McEwen. I don't know.
Yeah, McEwen. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I got into McEwen. I signed up for my classes and all that. This is 2021 September.
Let's go.
Dropped out first day. I actually didn't even go to class.
Oh, really?
Didn't even go to class. I'm like crying, talking to my mom. I'm like, I don't want to go to school here.
Yeah.
I don't really want to waste time. And she's like, okay, don't.
Yeah.
Literally, she's like, I don't care.
Right.
If you're gonna be unhappy, don't do it.
Yeah.
Which is like, I'm very grateful for my mom. She's like super supportive of me.
Shut up, mom. Yeah.
So yeah, and then gap year number 2 happened.
There you go.
Very, very unexpected.
Right.
So, and then I just worked again. It's cold in Alberta, and like
especially in Edmonton. Oh my gosh, yeah, we get Chinooks in Calgary. You know, you guys just freeze.
Yeah. So, and then I was just like really sad and upset because I'm like, it's so cold. I don't leave my house. I just work. You know.
Right.
So then that was pretty much gap year number 2, and then I applied at correct times.
Okay.
We didn't miss.
To UBC.
To UBC and UVic.
Okay. Oh, you did the UBC application?
Yeah.
Gosh, bro, horrible.
It was so painful.
Yeah.
I literally got my friend to write my essay.
It's so long.
That was not Dawn's essay, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't get into, because I applied for psychology both at UVic and UBC, and then my second was forestry at UBC.
Oh, okay.
So then I applied to UVic next day.
Yeah.
Next fucking day, they were like, please come. Yes.
Yeah, right.
And like, I honestly didn't do any research about UVic or anything.
Yeah.
Even like UBC, I didn't do much. I'm like, the sole goal was to leave Edmonton.
Right.
And in my head at that time was the only way I'm gonna leave is with school.
Mm-hmm.
Which like, yeah, I could have left, you know, but
it's hard.
It is hard.
Very hard.
Without school, because then you're gonna have to find a job, and then you have to find a place to live.
Yeah, and you're probably gonna have to take a loan too.
Yeah. Because like taking a loan for like
school.
School is so different. Like school, it's not, but like in my head, it's different. I'm like, oh yeah, my education. So then it's like, okay, whatever, it doesn't matter.
And everyone else is doing it as well.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
So then it's like fine, but then I'm like, yeah. So I got in, and I'm like, okay, UVic, cool. Didn't expect it. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't want to go to UVic actually, because like my heart was set on UBC.
Right.
Right, and then UBC didn't get back to me for like a really long time,
Mm-hmm.
and then they were like, yeah, you can come for forestry if you want.
Okay.
And then at the time, I'm like, I didn't care about forestry. That was just like the only other option that like didn't sound like ass when I was applying for my second one.
Word.
Like my second option. I'm like, yeah, I guess I like trees.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
And then, yeah, and I'm like, I don't really want to go to something if I'm not into
of course.
it, you know?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm like, okay, UVic. Woo. And then, terrifying. I was like, shit, I'm gonna be older. It's like 2 years.
2 years. It makes a difference though.
It does make a difference.
Were you were gonna say it wasn't?
I was trying to rationalize, like, it's 2 years. It's fine. It's fine, you know? But like, honestly, I was very worried.
I feel so much older than the kids in my first year classes.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, cool. But then I was so scared, and then I got my acceptance to like what is it called?
Residence.
Residence.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that scared the shit out of me. And then I actually moved there just like by myself.
Well, no way.
Yeah.
No one helped you. You were just.
Like I got driven to the airport.
Yeah.
By my friends, and
Mm-hmm.
then, like my mom was like really sad.
Right.
She, like her kids going off to college and she can't go.
Yeah, of course.
And like drop her off, which was like kind of sad,
Aww.
but it's okay. She like came and dropped me off here. That's like, that was her little redemption.
Yeah, that was sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, and then that was like, yeah, so like university was really like the first time, I guess. It was like that. It's everyone's first time by themselves.
It
but
is.
I just felt like I was just a little late to the game, a little bit, you know?
Right, okay.
Yeah, and then first year was so interesting, to say the least. Like being an older, oh my gosh, 2 years is not that much, I know. But, I don't
Older.
know, older.
You live life in
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah,
You
in
live a
2
lot of
years,
life in
yeah.
2 years.
And I was like, whoa, this is weird, you know?
Yeah.
And then it was like fine, and then second semester I'm like, I hate this.
You're right. Yeah.
You know, because I don't know, I lost like my reason, you know, like why I
To
came
be in school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you're kind of finding that reason?
Yeah.
Now?
Yeah, I do think I am. I don't know, I just something clicked recently too, like, you know, where
Yeah,
it's like
like when we were
just
talking
school,
about yeah.
like I finally feel like yes, this is what I'm supposed to be doing right now.
Okay.
But I still don't know what I want to do, like degree wise, you know.
Ooh,
but
yeah.
I do think I'm on the path. You
On
know?
the path.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Slow steps. Baby steps.
Baby steps.
Baby
you know?
steps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel that way now that like, because you've been all over the place with your degree?
Oh,
too,
yo, don't say
you know?
that. Oh, shh.
Wait, no, just kidding.
No, I've been good. 1 degree, right? At university. No, yeah, I've been everywhere. No, I'm very, you know, we talked about this earlier about like studying and everything, and like I think I'm at the point now where that switch is on. Like this is where I want to be in, you know, that whole synchronicity thing with all these, you know, that new PT job I was telling you about, and just everything I'm learning, everything's moving in that direction that I wanted to. And school is, you know, playing this role where it's like facilitating that, in the sense that like, for one, I'm meeting all these people in school that I wouldn't have met if I'm not in school, and also everything I'm learning in this degree compared to the last few are also in line with what I want to do for the rest of my life. Whether that what I want to do changes. Right now it's a very loose thing, but so yeah, I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah.
But actually doing well and everything, now that like that switches on and like I want to do well, that's been really hard. And that's something I was still trying to figure out.
Yeah, getting to studying. Learning is so much fun, but studying.
Oh my gosh, bro.
Different story. I'm like, what if we just like are here and like we learn and then you don't ever test me about it?
Yeah, right.
That'd be nice.
Bro, and just, like, speaking about the education system a little bit, man, it sucks. Like, it's so, you know, I've been really struggling now that I'm trying to like focus, and like I'm figuring out ways that I learn better, and it's like very active movement. You know, I love to hyperfixate on stuff. Like I can't go to 2-hour lectures every single day and do stuff, and it's like that's the only way you can do well in university.
That's because it's not like, oh, like what are you learning? It's what do you remember?
Yeah.
You know, it's
right.
It's a retention game that we're playing.
Huge.
You know, and it's like, how well can you take instruction?
Yes.
You know.
Right.
I feel like that's also like why I kind of did really well in high school. Is like, oh my gosh, she's such a good student. No, she's just good at being told what to do. You know?
Right.
Like if you tell me, oh, study for an hour, okay.
You don't have to tiptoe. You're so cute. Yeah, that's really really interesting. I was okay, maybe we can cut this out. But I was we went over about eating disorders in nutrition class, and they were talking about how most of these, like, you know, majority of girls who get eating disorders, they're always like, it's a sum of like this idea of like being perfectionist all the time. And actually maybe like I'll try and include this and not talking about your personal story or anything. Maybe I'll cut that part out.
No, like my psychology course too.
But more in the sense that, you know, as a girl, do you feel like you get very pressured to be, you know, perfect all the time? Because that seems like what a lot of I read kind of points that, and obviously as
Definitely. I feel like growing up there was always like an eye on me. I got a lot of comments growing up about my physical appearance,
right,
because yes, I'm also lighter than my family, so people do like tend to point that. And like, yes, I'm a girl, and like,
Mm-hmm.
growing up as a skinnier kid,
Right.
so people also just like commented a lot about my body.
Right. And sorry to interrupt. It's like being fair skin. Like, is that a compliment as it is in like
As in-
Asians, or is it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It is
With
okay.
colorism worldwide.
Worldwide.
Being lighter is better, right? I'm not saying
No.
that. I myself am not saying that white is better. But, you know, yeah, so, and then, yeah, no, yeah, it's always like, but it's also like, you always notice women. Like, you know, when you're like looking out, it's like,
Yeah.
that is what, I don't know, but that's a lot to unpack there too.
Right.
The whole like, women are like put under a magnifying glass type
Yeah.
thing,
Right. Like the whole beauty space
right?
and everything.
You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think growing up, I got a lot of comments on like my body, and then I got like chubby. It was like when I was in middle school, like obviously.
Dude, and that'll do it to you, bro. Being chubby in middle
Being
school,
chubby in, like,
horrible.
Like end of elementary, getting into middle school.
Yeah. Dude, kids are ruthless, man.
Ruthless. I got made fun of. It's like they'd like literally laugh and like look at me and like start laughing again, and then look at me and start laughing. And,
Yeah.
like,
That stuff like
awesome.
it sits and
Yeah.
it lasts.
No, a girl
right?
like literally called me a human garbage disposal once.
What?
And I'm like, awesome. I feel so great about myself.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I'm joking. I'm like,
Oh, that made it so much better.
you're so funny.
Yeah.
You're literally the funniest girl I've ever met. You
Yeah.
know? And like, yeah, but I don't know. And then like my dad, like as a child, literally gave me bacon and butter sandwiches, and that was my lunch.
That sounds gas.
It was.
Yeah.
But like, it wasn't, because like I get this when it was fucking cold. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Of course.
So yeah, obviously I was like a chubbier kid.
Mhm.
Like, bacon and butter sandwiches.
It says
You
it
know?
all. Yeah.
Yeah, and then, but I like never cared about what I was eating until
Right.
high school. Really.
Right.
Yeah. Because then it's high school, then everyone's just like even worse.
Yeah.
You know?
Of course.
When like, because then it's like, oh my gosh, romantic relationships are more of like a thing, and like
Right.
how you're perceived is also more of a thing. And
Yeah.
then it's like, oh my gosh, your Instagram, and like,
Yeah.
what pictures are you posting? And like literally, I remember when I was 15, I like deleted the pictures,
Mhm.
but I like went on Facetune, and mind you, I was my height 20 pounds lighter. Like
Wow.
I was very, very small,
Yeah.
but still I was up in Facetuning my fucking waist and
God,
shit.
that's hard. Yeah.
And I'm like, girl, relax,
Right.
relax. First of all,
Yeah.
I was literally so skinny, you know.
Yeah.
And like I just like ate whatever I wanted at that point, but like the high school metabolism is crazy.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
mean, you know,
Well, not for
these-
everyone, but
Yeah, I was gonna say even still,
yeah,
like
yeah,
21-year-old.
True, 21, yeah, true.
Yeah.
I mean, garbage. Next time, like, hey, let's do it again. Let's do it again.
Yeah, right.
You know,
Pound a few pizzas, you binge, and you just wake up. It's like, whoa, nice.
literally like, ooh.
Repeat.
Now you got more to go to the gym, I guess. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And high school hits.
Yeah, high school. It's then I guess we can cut this out. But then like I started like actually genuinely having eating disorders.
Right.
It's like then, yeah. But
Yeah.
I think, but growing up, it was definitely like I would like sometimes watch what I eat, because like I don't know, like I get like obviously like you get comments about like being chubby or being skinny.
Yeah.
Or, like get comments on your body regardless is still
Right.
gonna, you know, affect you.
Mhm.
But
I know. It's so interesting. Like I don't know, I'm just absolutely fascinated by like different like male and female dynamics and the way
Yeah.
that works. And it's like, you know, something like, you know, putting makeup on every day, right? Like,
yeah.
you know, obviously you can go into like some like there's some like men's groups out there and like stuff like that, and you know, and you see this stuff on social media all the time. It's like, you know, guys saying like, yeah, they prefer girls without makeup and stuff like that. You see some like random
Yeah.
well, I was gonna say something way out of pocket. You meet some guy, it's like, yo, what's your preference? And
What's your makeup?
yeah, it's like, oh, you know, just beautiful girls without makeup, skinny waist, you know,
Yeah.
all that type of thing, gym girl. And
Yeah.
honestly, it's so interesting because I always was just really curious about that, and you know, the idea of that like you have to put that makeup on every day just to fit in, and you can't
Yeah.
have any
Yeah.
blemishes and stuff like that.
Yeah. Ooh, yes, let's talk about makeup. I love
Okay.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
I started wearing makeup when I was 12. Oh. Okay, good. We were um, yeah, because everyone else started wearing makeup, like, because it was started middle school,
Yeah.
right? So I was
Oh,
like, oh my
okay.
gosh, I feel ugly because everyone else is wearing makeup.
Right, right.
You know, so I just like started like this palette from Walmart. I put
Okay.
like straight up just white under my eyes.
Yeah,
'Cause I'm
yeah,
like, yeah, I look so good. No, you look like a mess. You look like a 13-year-old who just found out about makeup.
Okay, classic. It's
You
a thing
know?
for a reason.
Yeah, so like because I was like, oh my gosh, my under eyes are so dark.
Right.
Because yeah, I'm Indian, so like I naturally have like eye bags, regardless of if I'm tired or not. But I got like a lot of comments like, oh, you look tired.
Yeah,
And I'm like
yeah.
fully well rested, like ready to run a marathon. I'm like, what do you mean? I look tired.
Right.
I don't feel tired.
Yeah, yeah.
You know. So then, yeah. So then I'm like, oh, okay, I need to wear makeup. You know. And then, yeah. So then I started wearing makeup out of like, oh, I hate myself. Let me start this because everyone else looked better. I thought they looked better.
Yeah,
Maybe
of course.
It's the eye of the beholder. of
Yeah, yeah.
course. But
From your subjective lens.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
right. And then it was like, oh, okay. So then I wore makeup every day
Wow.
for like a couple of years. Like I wouldn't leave the house
Yeah,
without
yeah.
at least some mascara on. Like nobody can tell, literally. Like not in hindsight, right?
Yeah.
And then, yeah. So then high school, every single day, I continued that.
Okay.
And then when I wouldn't wear makeup, because I sometimes like, yeah, I'm late for school. Like I don't have time.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But there would be days I'd get up like at like 5 a.m. or like 5:30.
Yeah.
Just so like I'd be there doing my makeup.
It's, as I was gonna say, it's not a tiny thing, man. Like, two
Yeah,
girls like invest
it does take
hours into this.
Yeah, and then I liked doing my makeup after a while.
Okay.
Because then I figured out, ooh, I can do fun eyeshadow colors.
Okay.
I can put neon green on my eyes and like make it look cool. I can like do little fun designs and do my eyeliner and stuff. So then it was a hobby. At like around 15, it became a hobby. I'd literally come home. I'd like wash my face. I'd put on makeup again. I'd wash it again. And I just like I just keep doing my makeup.
Right. It's like art.
Yeah, it's like art, and then that became my outlet in high school. That was my creative outlet. Like I'd watch a lot of movies, but then I'd like do my makeup. That was like my thing for a while, and then
That's really cool.
Yeah, and then from like 16 onwards, I'd like go through phases of just like absolutely hating makeup or like not wearing makeup at all.
Yeah.
For like months at a time, and then I just like go back to wearing makeup.
Right.
And like, but now I feel like I have like a healthier relationship with makeup, where it's not like I'm wearing it out of, oh, I feel ugly. It's like, oh, I just like want to feel pretty, I guess. Like, yes, I am. Like, I feel pretty without makeup as well.
Right.
But there is something about it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like wearing a nice clothes. It's like wearing nice clothes.
Wearing nice clothes.
I think that's how I'd attribute the same thing to like a male perspective. It's like sometimes it's nice to put on a suit. You know? Or it's nice to like put on a dress shirt. It's nice to, or I guess whatever you think is like nice. You know? Or a Supreme shirt. You know, like it's nice.
Okay. No.
Or
flexing status wealth symbols instead of actually having them. What?
Yikes. Yeah, but it is sometimes I'm like, some days where I don't want to wear makeup, or it's like, oh, like even go to work. Like, my tips are better if I do wear makeup.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So sometimes I do like.
Yeah.
To, like, society.
Modern propaganda.
Literally.
Society. Yeah, the patriarchy. Yeah, I think that's what I'm so interested about is this idea of like having to like constantly show up, you know what I'm saying, as this, and it's because you know you can say as a guy too, you also have to constantly show up, right? And I guess it's a different way, right? Because I guess for women it's more appearance based if you're looking at it from like a sexual market standpoint, and like
women it's like, what do you look like? Men it's like, what do you bring to the table?
What do you bring to the table? Yeah, right. I guess if you're looking for like traditional stuff,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
that you know,
like,
nowadays
it's a whole
I don't
thing.
even understand it. So, but I was going to, yeah, and there's you look into places like Dubai. I was looking to like listen to a podcast about the dating scene there, and it's like a whole, what's the sociology experiment, basically looking at the dynamics there, because it's basically what's happening here times 10. Because all of a sudden you have just what you were saying, guys who bring a lot to the table, who are financially wealthy, disciplined, obviously, if they're making this amount of money, in other areas, who knows,
Yeah.
right? Probably not, maybe some, yeah. And then you have all these, girls as well who are always beautiful, right? There's that standard of beauty there, and like all of them exceed it. But because of this, they're always fighting because they need to try and like perform and outperform each other. So now it's like implants, it's liposuction, all these other crazy things. And for guys, it's all these other, you see all this status symbols in Dubai.
Yeah.
So
it's like, ooh, how many Bugattis you got?
Yeah.
It's like, ooh. Yeah, it's just like how much money and like.
Right.
Yeah, performance. It's just a different performance.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. So it's so interesting.
It is,
I just don't understand it.
Yeah. Yeah, like the way like a woman would have to perform versus like a man.
Yeah, and even when you get into like intersexual
then,
dynamics too, where you're competing against like, other, and this sounds like so like almost like autistic to like talk about like these like things, but like they exist, right? Like the whole, what's the word? Relationship, like the whole marketplace term. Have you heard that? Yeah, like finding your value and stuff. So you're competing against other guys and girls, and there's like whatever and stuff like that.
It's funny. Me and my brother talk about all the time.
Oh really? Yeah, high value men and women. Yeah.
High value women.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just it's yeah. Because this kind of came to mind. I was like really into attachment styles and everything, and trying to like heal whatever I was working on and stuff. And I found out I was like, anxially attached. So I was reading this book called No More Mr. Nice Guy. And that sounds like super like little,
so, like, red
sounds so red pill as fuck, bro. Like start dogging these girls, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, bro. But no, it wasn't like that at all. It was very like I could recommend it to even like who has anxious attachment, and I think it would help a lot. But one of the points they made is that sometimes you have things that you try to perceive because you think people will treat you better. So I was curious on your thoughts for this, whether this is makeup or not. And the example they used was a guy who obsessively cleans his car, right? And every day he's vacuuming his car and he's cleaning his car so it looks perfect, so that he can pull up to work, and he's the one with like the nice, beautiful, shiny car, and he attached his identity to the car, and he was like wanting their approval for this like nice car. And then that was him being like this nice guy, this super needy guy. And one of the things was like, okay, well, what if you stop doing that, right? What if you completely stop cleaning your car? He's like, oh no, I can never. People treat me like crazy, right? And then it was like a whole men's group thing. They pushed him to do it. All of a sudden, he stops washing his car, stops cleaning his car. Nothing happens, right? It's absurd. And I realized I had this thing with like acne, where it's like sometimes you stress and you break out and stuff like that. And I had like the biggest fixation on my acne, and like you like pick at it, you try and like pop away at when it comes out and everything like that. And I'm like, God, bro, if like anything's on my face, people will like treat me horribly. And I read that book, and I'm like, okay, wait, maybe not. And also the thing with acne is when you touch it, it inflames and it gets worse.
Don't touch your face.
Yeah.
Actually.
Right. So I stopped, and skin also gets better when you stop doing that. But for one, I just started going out, and I was like, oh, no one's treating me differently. So I was curious, is that?
Yeah. So, I mean, again, at the end of the day, your physical appearance means not. It has such little to do with the way you go out in the world. I don't know. It depends. Like the way you treat people has nothing to do with your appearance.
Right.
And the way. So like.
The impact you leave.
The way people interact with you.
Yeah.
That's out of your control.
Right.
So, I think regardless of if someone's gonna treat you like shit for not wearing makeup, that says more about them than you.
Genuinely.
Yeah. So, I do think that, yeah, if you stop wearing makeup, no one's really gonna, like,
Yeah.
sure, for a day they'll, like, need, like, a readjustment to be like, oh, yeah, that's your face.
Right.
Because, like, sometimes I, like, wear makeup for so long, and then I take my makeup off, and I'm like, who am I? I don't, you know? 'Cause
Right.
I get so used to, like, what I look like
Right.
this. And then I'm like, oh, that is my face,
Mhm.
you know? And then, obviously, it's not perfect. I know you really thought I was, but but yeah, I don't, like, me personally, I don't
Yeah.
think that I, like when we're talking about, like, that car analogy,
Yeah.
literally, like, no, it doesn't change that much.
Yeah.
But in certain situations, I do think that it is like
Right.
it is different than, like, a car, you know, where it's like
Yes.
nobody.
Very.
Yeah, because, like, if I go to work and, like, I'm wearing makeup, people will tip more.
Yes.
And then if I don't wear makeup, people will tip less. And, like,
Mhm.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's just, like, the restaurant industry being fucked in general.
Just customer service.
Customer
Man.
service in
Yeah.
general. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like when appearance, like I love the idea that appearance only matters for first impressions, right? You when you meet someone, that's the only time, and they will, I will. Whenever I meet someone, I'll judge their physical appearance. 10 times out of 10,
Yeah.
right? They come up, I've already scanned them up and down. I've looked at features, like I've noticed everything. And because I feel like that's just how the human brain kind of works. It's how you
We are
fill
visual
in.
creatures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have all these unknowns about someone, so you try and, like, fill them off based with the data that you have in your head. And when you're done conversing with that person, you forget what they look like.
Yeah.
Right? Your last impression of this person isn't what they looked like.
Yeah.
It's literally how they were.
Yeah.
Right? And you can forget what they looked like the moment you turned around and just remember, like, that person was, like, awesome.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
That's true. Yeah. We're just, like, shells. I don't know. I feel like sometimes I like to think of, like, I don't know. It's kind of weird and, like, spiritual, but, like, we are just, like, we're beings in a human suit.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like.
Yeah.
Like, you.
Oh.
I guess that's then
Yeah.
it's like, are you separate from your body?
I'm gonna show you this meme I found because I thought it was hilarious. Literally never shared a meme before. This is the only one I think I have saved in my camera roll, but if I can find it.
You don't have memes in your camera roll.
Isn't that absurd? Like, dude, high school me would have, like, freaked out. See the.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. We found it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right, and you
Yeah.
can see even, like, on the TV too. It's like them watching her as well.
like
So it's like,
yeah.
for anyone listening, it says when you realize you're the soul watching the mind, watching the physical self. It's like just a bunch of people looking in windows, seeing the other person.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
is this
yeah.
what you're talking about, kind
Yeah,
of?
similar. Yeah, pretty much. Like, you're not your body.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, you kind of are, but
Right.
obviously, but again, like, your personality, your thoughts, how you treat people, your actions, I
Mhm.
think is, like, what makes you you.
Yeah,
know?
right.
So, like, if you wear makeup, if you don't wear makeup, it's
Mhm.
not that big of a deal as, like, when you're, like, as a person, but I
Yeah.
guess other people tend to
Make judgments and
make
everything.
judgments and stuff, which is fine. You're allowed to be judgmental as long as it doesn't, like, get in the way, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, things.
And, like, what does, like, you even mean? Right? Because when you actually, like, take yourself
Who
out of this
are
physical
you?
thought and you think about, like, the thoughts that are going on in your head,
Yeah.
it's like it's literally infinite, right? And your thoughts can
Mhm.
change, and it's just these little, like,
Yeah.
obviously your
It's, like,
synapses and your
not
nerves,
your
but
thoughts. Like,
yeah.
When that, like, whole thing, like, started being, like, a thing where it's like, oh, you're not your thoughts. I'm like, what do you mean?
What do you mean?
I thought, like, this whole thing was, like, I am my brain.
Yeah,
type thing, you know?
right. So it's like, I don't know, and then you can just think about the way that you can completely change yourself. You can shave your head. You can take out piercings. You can put in piercings. You can tattoo your face black. Right. You just like, we're so infinite. Like, whatever can happen.
Yeah.
And on the note, are you okay talking about shrooms at all? Like, is that
Sure, but, like, I honestly don't have much to say about shrooms. That's
no?
the thing, yeah.
Oh,
'Cause, like,
okay.
I still, again, I feel, no, like, I haven't felt, like, I don't know, that whole thing, do you remember, like, when, like, Kiana was here?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I'm tripping, I wasn't. It's just, she was
What?
tripping.
Oh.
And then I had to deal with that. And
Okay.
and then she was just shitting on me the whole time, and then like, yeah,
Oh.
we're gonna cut this out, but it's fine.
Yeah. Oh.
So like that was
Sorry to
like
hear
kind
that,
of
dude.
like no, it's fine. And then like yeah, so like that's why I was like so much like she was just like being so
Yeah.
you know, and then
Oh, okay.
yeah, so like that's why, and then yeah, I completely forgot to fucking tell you about this afterwards. I
Because
forgot.
I was gonna ask you about it,
Yeah.
and then I told
Mhm.
myself, and I forgot.
Yeah, no, I
But,
forgot too.
yeah.
Back. Yeah, so that's why.
Oh
Yeah.
shit. Okay, so like shit went down then, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, and then. She just. Yeah. It's like yeah, so like I didn't even like fully trip, but like it still happened since.
Oh, okay.
And I was just like, been so like about it because
Yeah.
I feel like I know like when I do it, then when I think about that.
Oh,
I don't think I'm like ready to do that yet.
That's fair. Okay, so you
So
know what this
yeah.
that whole part?
Yeah.
Yeah, snaps,
Yeah.
snaps.
But once I do, we will chat.
We can talk about it.
Talk about it once,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there any other topics that?
No, like I feel like I've talked about so much.
Yeah.
I feel like we went over too much. Not too much, but like a lot.
Very, very like sporadic.
Yeah.
Very, very, very deep too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just fun. I feel like this is such like a good way to like get to know someone better. I was thinking about this. I was like,
Yeah.
this is why you do this. This
Yeah,
is why you do this.
it is.
I was like, why does Jordan be podcasting? So then you can get to know them a lot better.
Right.
It's so smart, actually.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yeah, it's like such a good way to like, like get to know someone better.
Just to talk.
Just to talk,
Right.
you know. Yeah,
Just
it's
to
like, I guess you're just recording a conversation.
Yeah.
You know, but
Yeah.
scheduling a conversation is actually really good.
It is. It's
Because then
sick.
you wouldn't really do it otherwise.
Yeah. I just feel like that's something I'm trying to incorporate in my life more. Like even just taking friends out for lunch, you know, going out to dinner, right? You know, just when you're eating, not being on your phone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I have such a bad habit.
I do. I still do it too, right?
Yeah.
It's like
Or
this.
like, I'll like bring my fucking iPad. I'm sorry, my iPad now. I like bring my iPad down
Yeah.
and like sit at the kitchen table and just like eat. And I'm like, I don't need to be doing this.
Yeah, right. But it's like it's hard, man. Like
Yeah.
genuinely.
It
There's
is.
times where like I'm sitting there eating, like literally don't have any thoughts. I'm not gonna go on my phone. Like I'm physically stopping myself from going on my phone. So I'm just like staring at the wall, eating it. Someone comes like yes, conversation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember I was with like someone I was seeing in their family, and we're waiting for some food to come in, and they all like whipped out their phone, and like I was like
Ooh, yeah.
I was just like chilling. I just like started just like staring at the wall or something. Not even out of like I don't want to do that too. Just like by habit now, just like not doing anything. They were like, "Whoa, you're so good," and I hate how this sounds. Like I'm kind of like weird about it, but it was like, oh, okay, this isn't normal.
Yeah, I don't know about like my family. We don't like if you pull your phone out at the table, we're clowning on you.
Yeah, mine too.
You know,
Mine too.
yeah. So like I found like it's like seeing other families like going on their phone and stuff. I like always found that so odd.
Crazy, right?
Okay.
Do you guys like always eat dinner around the same time too?
No. Just like when we did eat dinner together, it was very much
right.
like, why are you having your phone out? Like
Snaps, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, because your phone is just so easy to be like, I don't want to talk to anybody, or like you do want to talk to him, but it's like I don't want any lulls in conversation.
Yes, right. Like, or I don't know what to say.
I don't know what to say.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I don't know.
Because if I think about a future conversation, obviously you're not gonna know what to say. But then once you're confronted with that person, boom.
Yeah.
There's so much to talk about, you know.
Or there's not. And that's okay too.
That is okay.
Yeah.
Silence is okay.
Yeah.
I have this theory actually. Awkwardness does not exist. Or not. Yeah.
Okay.
Because if you don't perceive it as awkward, it's not.
True.
Right?
That is true. But what do you think about the feeling of socially awkwardness?
Like the feeling
of being socially awkward. Yeah.
Again, it's just a feeling.
It's just a feeling.
It's just a feeling.
Right. Yeah, I feel like you say that with everything.
Yeah, that's true. You can't just over-rationalize it.
Yeah, well.
To a certain extent, I guess.
To a certain extent, yeah. But okay,
Yeah.
no, I get what you're saying.
Like silence. A lot of people think.
Silence is awkward.
Silence is awkward.
doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you're with your family, you're not talking all the time.
Mhm.
That silence is not awkward.
Yeah.
You know, it's just silence.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's true. I think actually I've noticed that a little bit recently, like especially with this whole me trying to stay away from, just stop doing like taking out my phone and everything. If I'm talking to someone, sometimes they'll mention like, yeah, it was kind of awkward. I'd be like, what do you mean? Right? So I think that's maybe what you're saying is, I guess, just the way you perceive it.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting theory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe I just like didn't want to seem awkward. Maybe that's like I'm not awkward. You guys are viewing me as awkward actually.
You're just projecting.
Yeah, you're projecting. I'm actually the best conversationalist you've ever met.
Yeah. But I don't know. Yeah, I like that. Especially conversations. There's sometimes you guys just won't mesh, and you talk and you realize that it's not going to be saying. I think it's kind of a skill, right? Being able to like leave conversations. Yeah, or just like, just conversation as a skill in general. But then the idea of like being able to like leave a conversation when it's just not mending is just so sick. And I guess it's also the way you perceive it too.
Yeah. Yeah, leaving conversations. That's
I remember I was with my sister when we went to that Latin club night that you were sick and couldn't come to, but we were there and it's just me and her, right? Like, what are we gonna do, right? Dance together. So we were like, it was a little awkward at the start. We were trying to like figure out, I'm staying sober obviously, so
Ooh, sober king.
we'll see how long that lasts. But so we were just sitting, just like talking, trying to figure out what to do, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna talk to people and find out, right? And just like say hi. And the first like 5-6 people I talked to were weirdos. So strange. I tried practicing my Spanish and they just like looked me up and down.
Aww.
Eventually I showed up to these group of 3 guys. I'm like, like mi amigos, like, ¿cómo estás? Like, ¿cómo estamos? How are we doing? And then they, like, one guy smiled and everything, but it was just weird. And, I was able to like say like, okay, you guys look like you aren't feeling this. I'm gonna go walk out. And that made me realize like, whoa, dude, I've worked on that. That was easier. And then eventually we met some kids, some exchange students. We just had a blast with them.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I said that for the whole point of like just being able to like leave. That thing is,
Mm-hmm.
It's hard.
That is hard. I guess like in general, like conversation, like rejection, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Is like something I like struggle with. I guess.
Right.
So like I guess like the whole leaving.
Yeah.
I guess that's like really.
What do you mean?
But leaving that conversation, I like didn't know what.
But it's like also that's a scenario where it's like, how do you leave?
Yeah.
Like you just like walk out.
Yeah, no, and like when am I gonna leave my seat? No,
Yeah,
like,
right.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know. I feel like maybe I'm aware, maybe this is just like a societal thing. But if I see that, and you can see when people try to like leave, or it's like, okay, I'm also gonna use the washroom or something like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think that's kind of like a cop out.
Yeah.
But
that's fair.
yeah, no, it's hard. There's something I want to say there, but oh yeah, I feel like just like to wrap up in last few points and everything. It was when people do that, it says a lot more about them, and we've like mentioned that maybe that was like a common theme throughout all this. But if like she's not like receptive and not talking, maybe she wants to be, right? She like being on her phone could be like a defense mechanism, a coping mechanism, a way to avoid awkwardness. Right? And if they weren't, and if you tried, it's like that's what helps me leave these situations. It's like me going up to those guys and wanting to talk. That's me being open. That's me being present. That's me being there. And if they're not, putting in effort, there we go. And if they're not receptive to that, maybe they want to be, maybe they have stuff they haven't worked on that let them be in that place. That's okay.
That is okay.
Right? And it doesn't have to be malice. It's like, okay, cheers guys. On to the next.
Yeah, because again, it's like all out of your control at that point.
Completely.
You put in your best foot. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
Put in your own effort.
Yeah.
And stuff. It works out cool.
Right.
If it doesn't, also cool.
Yeah. I remember Katie and I talked about this, and I said I was gonna wrap up. I want to see what you think on this, because she made this comment about when she was like working on her attachment style and everything, and she was like realizing or talking to my friends when they're in a space to talk, when they're able to talk, in the sense that like usually not everyone's able to be present and like have a conversation with you. So say you want to like emotionally vent for something, that person might not be like ready to have that, and then they could push you away and everything. And I was tying that to something. I think the brain's getting a little
That's okay.
slower,
Yeah.
but
The sun's going down. You
sun's
know.
going down.
Yeah.
We've been talking for a good little while
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. What is it called? Our circadian rhythms kicking in.
Yeah, way. Yeah,
Our
no.
melatonin.
Our melatonin is
natural
being
melatonin
released.
being released.
It's not a lot of blue light in the
Not
house,
a lot of
so
blue light,
yeah. But just relationships and stuff like that. Like sometimes when people aren't ready to talk,
Yeah.
it's not a sign for you. It's a sign of them, and it's not a bad thing. It's just in the moment. I think that's
Yeah.
the whole general gist.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. It's not always your fault.
Yeah.
Not always your fault.
No, it is not. So, any last wrap up words from Dawn?
Remarks?
Closing remarks? Anything you wanna say to the 9 or 10 people who listen to my pod?
Hey, this was fun. I actually had I was shitting bricks before this. I'm like, oh my gosh, a podcast. The internet.
Yeah.
But hey, I had a lot of fun. I like talking. Sometimes. Last remarks. Yeah. Go live your life, guys. Do the thing.
Put in effort.
Put in effort.
Yeah.
Effort. However, also relax too. Take your time.
Yeah.
Take your time. Not everyone's on the same.
It doesn't have to be go go go.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The people you see doing go 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 is probably not always go go go.
True.
Right.
Yeah, you're only seeing the good things.
You're only seeing the good
For a
things.
reason. For a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet, man.
My
Well,
brain is so empty right now.
yeah, me too. It's a good time. Good time to call it. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you doing this.
Oh, thanks for asking me.
Yeah. Yeah. It was very hard.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, literally. Oh, 2 doors down.
10 episodes.
10 episodes.
Wrapped up.
Woo, double digits.